All right. So this one's going to be quick. I know I say that every time. Yesterday was, man, the perimenopause, the hot flashes and everything. No, that was over an hour I was out here. Here's the deal, though. It's a real solution. I think if they think they're going to spit out a solution in about 8 seconds and that you should immediately trust and listen and buy and all the dumb things that these these boneheads, they drive me insane because all they do is come out here and lie to you. And, I don't care how many views they get. I care that people are looking at it and believing that shit. That's the problem. So anyway, listen, you guys have been peppering me for a setup that doesn't involve a syringe or a needle, but that really, really hammers out dense, dry, strong, a whole bunch of muscle. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. So let's go line by line on how this works, and I'll explain why it works according to physiology and why this is all stacked together. By the way, none of this is meant to prescribe, treat, diagnose, triage, cure. It's only hypothetical, entertaining, and for education. That's it. All right. Now, if you know, you know. God, it's exhausting saying that all the time. So let's talk facts first. You guys have been told that yes, it requires hard work, but you've been told that building this powerful Captain America physique is only about hard work. That's half true. That's not actually, that is missing so many moving parts, because the other half is chemical engineering of your system. And if somebody comes in here and goes, what about morality? What about, I don't know, GFY? That's all I got. I got nothing, and somebody listened to my podcast and they said, I love listening to your podcast. And I listen to it all the time. I just can't listen to it around my babies, presumptively because I cuss. So just because of that, ma'am, if that's you, I realize I cuss, but I'll see if I can help you out so you can listen to it around your little ones. Because listen, do I want some 8-year-old dropping F-bombs as they're watching Avengers or something? No, I don't. I'd smack my own kid for it, which is kind of hypocritical when I say it, but my kids are 16 and 18. And until my son is faster and tougher than me, I could still take him. Hey, but he's a dangerous fighter. He's getting close. So let me dissect the pharmacology behind this. And before somebody goes, what about cancer? What about SARMs? What about SARMs? What about peptides? What about secretagogues? I read this study. I saw it on Reddit. I saw a Pinterest post and it said that this oral's better. First of all, for all of you guys about to say, didn't you say that orals are completely ineffective? They get chewed up by the gut? Yes, when they're a peptide. Yes, SARMs are not peptides. Secretagogues are not peptides. SARMs are not peptides. Are we learning yet? Okay, just as long as we're on the same page here, because it's exhausting when I get these messages come through going, hey, bro, I just watched this. You're all over the place. How come I thought you said that you can't take things orally? It's the same. Listen, if you're one of these people that goes, I thought you said that you had to inject SLU with DMSO. Are you out of your mind? Do you have any idea how much that stings? I live in Texas. We have tarantula hawks here. It's like a wasp that's like this big. Well, maybe that's embellishing. It's probably about this big. It's a big old black wasp. This thing kills tarantulas, drags it into a hole, lays its eggs inside, and then just bounces while this thing's still alive. And I'm telling you, the sting, it's not good. We have velvet ants here too. The sting, not good. And it lasts for a really long time. Just FYI, little black and red fuzzy ants. They don't look like the white ones that I've seen on TV. It was about this big and I got stung. I got stung right on the inside here. Holy moly, did that hurt. Oh, it was like I got set on fire. Scorpions in my own house, 4. I got stung 4 times. The friggin' scorpions. The 3rd time it happened, my whole leg went numb. I got a buddy of mine, Devin. He lives in Vegas and he's a doc in Vegas. Good dude, really good dude. And he told me he got stung. He always wears flip-flops in his house now because he lives in Summerlin, just outside of Las Vegas. And he said, yeah, I never knew anything about that until I moved to Texas. I was living in California at the time. So I realized I digress. This is nothing to do with this podcast. So let's talk about putting on slabs of steak called muscle, dry, lean, powerful, and then keeping it. So before somebody goes, oh yeah, but you need PCT, you better tell them about that. There is no channel that has all of the information as dry and gritty and raw and probably as fun as me. But listen, we're here to operate, right? Not have long conversations about morality and, well, I think this is wrong. And I think that you should drink your mushroom tea and coffee's bad. There's coffee, double rainbows. You know what that means. If you've been following me at all, it ain't anything good. So I'm going to dissect probably one of the most potent pharmacological stacks that you can build without using a needle. And so I'll go over them line by line. It's not a shortcut. before you guys say any of this, every single person I know that takes anything that is a performance enhancing, whatever it is not that's like saying creatine is a shortcut. Okay. It adds a phosphate. That's a shortcut. Absolutely. It's like saying vitamin C is a shortcut. Listen, you morally superior, self-righteous, virtue-signaling maggots need to be quiet or pull out a piece of paper and start taking notes and go, maybe I need to upgrade my mindset in my life because I'm here to help people. And if you don't like it, don't come in here and start preaching about morality. Shut your bark hole, take notes. And if you have a question, for the love of God, stop asking me on YouTube. Ask me, because I don't check my message. Just so you know, whatever you guys are writing in my comments on YouTube, I've seen precisely zero. None. I saw one, it had 130 comments. I read none of them. Thank you if they're nice, and F you if they're not. But if you have questions for me, ask me on Instagram or just join my Black Card membership. I don't know what I got left. 21 out of the 100, I think. 22. I might be less by now. I had a guy just message me telling me he bought it. And for everybody that's bought the Black Card, listen, I'll tell you this. It is not a look for all the research line by line and have these little books in there for $6,000. It is you get to actually talk to me every Monday. No, you do not get direct access to me. No, you cannot message me. You can. You can message me all you want. I'm not going to answer you until Monday. Because if you want me one-on-one, it's $150,000 per year. If you want the closest thing to, you get me for 2 hours on a Monday, hour and a half, whatever it takes to answer all your questions. But I promise you this, anybody that's in the program already, that sat in on a call, knows damn well I'm good at what I do. And that's all I care about is make sure I give you the information because nobody else is doing it. So anyway, those are my options to help. And if you want to come and just bitch, you're going to pay a lot of money just to bitch, and then I'll just kick you out and keep your money anyway. So I'm going to give you a surgical override for all your body's self-imposed limitations, because that's part of the problem is when people go, it's my genetics. My dad was small. My mom was small. I have no muscle. I've been skinny my whole life. All the stuff that comes out. But here's the problem with any real tool or tools that work, they need to be very precise. And I think a lot of the problems that I'm seeing on social media and on YouTube and in the podcast realm and these self-proclaimed experts like the two bumbleclots in SoCal that talk about, what's up, guys? I'm back. Like, dude, what are you, a thug? You're 45. Grow up. But they're ripping you guys off with oral peptide. So look at this, 2-fisting caffeine. Hell yeah. You know why I drank some of that Coke Zero? Is because this coffee is a little bitter today. I don't know why, but it is. So you have to have a clear understanding of how physiology works in order to build the muscle. Because that's where I think you guys are screwing up, is you guys build it and then you tank. But you need to have an understanding of how to do a post-cycle reset. Because if you don't understand how to, and none of this stuff is bad for you. Listen, I just watched a bunch of Muppets smashing Tylenol. What the hell is wrong with you guys? First of all, if anyone goes, Tylenol doesn't really have any harm to the fetus or to the baby whatsoever, it has harm to the adult, which subsequently means it has harm to the baby. Does the baby have kidneys, liver, gut? Yes, I realize it's not going into the gut specifically. Vascular system? Yeah, it does. Stop putting Tylenol in your baby. What if I'm in pain? Suck it up. You're not a woman. You don't know. No, but my wife is. You know what my wife took for 2 children? Nothing. Zero. Absolutely nothing. My wife is a savage. And you know what? She's like every other woman out there, tough as nails until somebody gets in your brain and says, you shouldn't do that. You should take this drug instead. Your baby has no choice. It's got 1 shot to grow. It's got 9 months. It's got 1 shot. Suck it up, shut up, and let your baby come out. Then whatever you want to do, knock yourself out. Be irresponsible. But don't you dare do that when you are the only one making active decisions for that baby. Grow up. Grow up, all of you, if that's what you're doing. You guys taking Tylenol as a, what? Hate towards somebody? What are you, 3? I don't even know what to say about you. You guys are a bunch of missing links. Like, you are natural selection at its finest. So do what you got to do because the world needs less of you. How dark is that? I don't really care. You should have been eaten because you're just screwing it up. Actually thinking you have a movement. Only movement you are is a bowel movement. Listen, so let's get back to this because I'm going to pop off. Your body's native testosterone. Okay, listen, there's something. Let me back up. You need LGD4033. I don't know if I've even mentioned this before, but this thing is next level. If you have a bad feeling about SARMs, you're not going to want to listen to this. Do SARMs do bad things to you? No, they do the same level of bad things to you as coffee. Nothing. If you don't abuse it. You drink 40 cups of coffee a day, you're going to struggle. So a SARM is a selective androgen receptor modulator. SARM for short, right? So its primary action, the LGD, LGD4033. The primary action is on the AR, the androgen receptors in your muscle and your bone tissue. Those are where you want them to go. That's why I said you need a precise, like a laser strike. So let me go over the physiology. Okay. So the testosterone I was in the process of saying is it's like a primary key, like a master key that fits in a ton of locks in the body. Some you want, muscle and bone, some you don't. Prostate, scalp, unless you're like me, you're bald, it doesn't matter. LGD4033 is a very precision cut key. It has a massive binding affinity for skeletal muscle androgen receptors. And it has a binding affinity for skeletal muscle androgen receptors that is significantly higher than testosterone's. That should scream massive benefit right there. So when it binds, it doesn't just activate the receptor, it upregulates it, which that means that the receptor becomes significantly more sensitive and much more responsive, which means what happens? You get the results of what that receptor is going to tell it to do, which is the downstream version, or the downstream effect of that is massive and rapid. Incredibly, stuff works so fast. Increase in the transcription of mRNA, messenger RNA, which is responsible for the protein synthesis required, right? So your ribosomes get the command to build. Nitrogen balance shifts massively positive, and you're no longer just anabolic, you're hyper anabolic. So the signal to grow isn't just this subtle suggestion, it's a mandate. It's all your body knows how to do, except the problem is the mandate becomes useless if your body has a pre-installed governor, which it does. So the second component, that's why this is why these guys, they make me so angry. When they come out, they just start throwing shit together and going, this is what you should do because the stacks, they all say they do this. And I just put them together. Ball up your fist, punch them right in the eye. It's most of these guys, these Muppets that should just not be teaching you anything because they have the physiological knowledge of this can of Coke Zero. Nothing. So the second component of this is something called YK11. The governor of this entire process is myostatin. Myostatin is a protein. It's a member of the TGF-beta superfamily, if you want to get fancy about it, whose sole purpose, by the way, is to negatively, your body's got these, negatively regulate skeletal muscle growth. Slows it down. If you go into, you guys want to have some fun, go on YouTube or go on Google or wherever it is you guys go, or ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, and look up a whippet with a myostatin deficiency. It looks like a bodybuilder that didn't know when to stop taking gear. Like they just look ridiculous, but it's hilarious. They show pictures of cows and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, without myostatin, the governor turns off and the muscles blow up. Can you do bad things? Of course. This is where being a responsible human being comes in. I'm giving you this stuff. You decide how idiotic you want to be. You could just listen to the doc who goes, maybe just do it like this, and everything works out fine. So it's what this is. The myostatin is your genetic ceiling. YK11 is this derivative that functions as a very, very potent myostatin inhibitor. Fantastically potent. So the mechanism that this YK has, is it does two things. It binds directly to the myostatin precursor protein, so it prevents its activation, but it also acts, this is the cool part, it acts as a partial agonist of the AR, the androgen receptor, but its primary value, the primary action that it has, is anti-myostatin activity. So by inhibiting myostatin, this is cool, check this out, YK11 disables the primary brake that's on muscle satellite cells, the proliferation of these cells, the proliferation and the differentiation. So it takes off the governor. So now your cells can do whatever the hell they're being told to do without the restriction of something choking them off a little bit. So in practical terms, you're deleting the genetic code for enough. And so for you guys right now, your brains are going 1,000 miles an hour going, whoa, what are these bad things that can happen? You have worse things happening to you from taking NyQuil, just so we're very clear. And if somebody goes, bullshit, you keep taking NyQuil then. I don't know. Diphenhydramine, you know what? Tylenol, knock yourself out. I don't know what to tell you. Don't listen to me. What do I know? So here's what happens with the YK. The satellite cells, they're proliferate. Now they're going to proliferate. They're going to differentiate. But the stem cells, the satellite cells, which are the primary cell, the only cell that's responsible for muscle repair and hypertrophy, now they can do whatever they want. They can proliferate without any limits. So LGD40, now you see how this comes together. LGD4033 is screaming, grow, and YK11 has just cut the wires to the system that says, stop. But this creates an entirely new set of problems. Because this untethered growth, you are in this state of hyper-anabolism, and it metabolically is incredibly voracious. So now you've turned a little old beat-up sedan into a F-22 Raptor. Just nothing but a fuel-consuming, horsepower-creating monster. And it's going to consume phenomenal amounts of fuel. So without it, the issue becomes the engine stalls. You start chewing up your own tissue to make tissue, which becomes pointless. You get that? So now you have something else to mitigate that. Cardarine. GW 50, 15, 16. If any of you guys start going, what about cancer? Get off my podcast. I've addressed this so many times. I'm tired of it. I'm not going to do it anymore. It does not, it will not, it cannot, period. And all the research that you find on Reddit from the Muppets that have no idea what they're talking about, get it from the same fucking study, which is always the same thing. Rats that have been given cancer, mice that have been given cancer that responds only to something specific. In this case, it would be cardarine, that now magically have a tumor that grows because it responds to cardarine only and they already have the tumor. No, it doesn't. Cardarine, by the way, is not an androgen modulator. It operates on an entirely different axis, the PPAR delta pathway, which I've talked about a ton. Cardarine is a massive agonist. When you activate this nuclear receptor, it triggers a fundamental shift in your body's energy substrate preference. So now it upregulates the genes that are involved in fatty acid oxidation. Carnitine, CPT, so CPT1, pyruvate dehydrogenase kinase 4, PDK4, right? Uncoupling protein 3, UCP3, all of these things, your muscle fibers begin to switch towards a much more oxidative type 1 phenotype. So now, check this out, your mitochondrial density and efficiency skyrockets, like through the ceiling. Your endurance goes bananas. So the result of all of this, these three things, is that your body becomes this muscle-growing, fat-burning furnace that's generating insane amounts of ATP from all the stored lipids you have. So if you have some chub on you, this will help. So when people go, yeah, but I don't want to be bulky. No, you're going to put on dry muscle while burning all the fat. Listen, this entire thing provides a colossal energy currency, that is required. I'll say that again. Required. You can't do the first two without the third. You can't. Oh, you can physically put the drops in your mouth, but you're going to wind up causing more damage than good. I don't recommend it at all. It's because you're going to fuel the relentless protein synthesis and cellular division that's demanded by the LGD and YK stack. So like I said, your endurance is going to skyrocket. Your recovery between sets becomes nearly instantaneous, and you are anabolic and aerobically elite. It's a physiological state nature honestly rarely allows, because you have to come up with all kinds of ways to make this happen, and you're either one or the other. So when this thing happens, I'm telling you, you will feel like Captain America. But listen, let's talk about the synergy about this, because it's not additive. It's not additive. So this is not additive. This is multiplicative. LGD 4033 provides the anabolic signal that says build muscle right now. YK11 removes the genetic limiting factor, build without a ceiling. And cardarine provides the energy capacity, as in like, here's endless fuel to build forever if you really want to. This creates a wicked positive feedback loop of growth and performance, and it's all untethered from your natural genetic constraints. Is it affecting your genes? Is it affecting the growth? Before you go all nuts, yeah, but everything does. Epigenetics does. But let me explain this part. All of this power comes with a very non-negotiable physiological cost. Yeah, this is the part that nobody out there, just do it, it's great. No. Don't, because you've introduced exogenous ligands that suppress your HPG axis, your body's production of gonadotropin-releasing hormone, luteinizing hormone, and follicle-stimulating hormone is pretty much shut down. Your balls have gone dormant. They do not work. No, this is not for women, this one, at all, unless you want to be a woman with a penis. Don't do it. So if you simply stop this cycle, you are going to crash 100%. Your testosterone is going to plummet to zero. You're going to lose every ounce of gain that you fought so hard for, and you are going to feel catastrophically awful. This is where the amateurs fail, because they go, I'm going to get some of it, but not all of it, because I don't have the extra $80 or whatever. I don't know what it is, $100. So they play with the accelerator, but have no plan for the brakes. Enclomiphene citrate. That's what needs to happen, just enclomiphene in general. Enclomiphene is an isomer that is stripped of its estrogen activity. Don't start thinking about Clomid or all the other goofy crap that people used to take in the 90s. This is pure competitive antagonist at estrogen receptors at its best in the hypothalamus. So here's what happens. And I talked about this actually with the menopause and the hot flashes and the perimenopause, because it works very well. This works very well with women in clomiphene. But by blocking estrogen's negative feedback on the hypothalamus, it tricks your brain into perceiving that a low estrogen environment exists in your body's closed loop. So the brain's response is to increase and will release massive amounts of GnRH, and this jolts the pituitary gland to crank out LH, luteinizing hormone, and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. So LH goes to the testes and it binds to Leydig cell receptors. It initiates the steroidogenic cascade that's required, which is a conversion of cholesterol to pregnenolone and then ultimately testosterone, which goes back to the whole cholesterol post I did the other day, which is why would you not have cholesterol in your system? Low cholesterol screws this all up, by the way. So if you were eating a very low fat diet or you're trying to lower your cholesterol or you're on cholesterol meds, don't do this. Don't. You're just going to jack yourself up. Don't do it. Anyway, the point is that enclomiphene doesn't add testosterone, which is where a lot of people screw this up. It forces your own endocrine system to restart its own native production. It's like the system reboot when everything's been running at redline. It needs to cool off, but it needs to heal at the same time. It's what allows you to step off the cycle and keep the gains. Without it, you're an idiot tourist. With it, you are a permanent resident in Gainesville. That's how this works. So just to be very clear, because some of you guys are going to hear this and you're going to miss all these critical steps, and then you're going to send me messages about how something happened or this happened or that. I am not responsible for anything that you do, just so you know. I'm giving you the actual tools and the structure and the playbook on how to put this together properly so your physiology goes, thank you so much. You hooked me the hell up. This protocol is not about cheating. It's about competence. It's the understanding that your body is a biochemical machine that responds to very specific inputs, right? LGD4033 is the input for anabolic signaling. YK11, the input for removing the genetic growth suppression, right? That gets out of the way. Cardarine is the input for limitless energetic capacity. Right. So now that's out of the way. And clomiphene at the end, you don't take this during, when you're done, is the input for preserving the entire biological investment that you just came up with. Does that make sense? This is the difference between wishing for results and actually engineering the results by doing the smart thing. Well, most people would rather blame their genetics than understand endocrinology or human biology. I see it every day. I get messages from a ton of you guys every day going, well, you don't understand. I don't. Because I keep giving you the answers. Your potential is not a mystery, you guys. It's not. It is a set of operating parameters and a mathematical equation. And now you have all the variables. So the question now just comes down to, are you going to do it or are you not? Do you have the discipline to do it or don't you? Because you can't do this and eat bags of Oreos and buckets of the Colonel's chicken. You still need to be smart about it. But I'm telling you, this is like a 50x ROI. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this. I got to go. Never miss.